What's up, guys? Welcome to Nolan Talks. LSU just beat Ole Miss in one of the weirdest LSU games I've probably watched in a very long time. Final score was 53-48. It's a low-scoring basketball game, we call that. It was, like I said, one of the weirdest games I've seen in a while. Very exciting game, though. Like, if you're just a casual fan throwing that game on, you're pretty, it was back and forth, and it was very entertaining. I wish that game could have a stadium of full capacity because you definitely would have got your money's worth. A lot of just, two football teams that aren't super great at really anything and make a lot of mistakes, and, those are the fun games to watch, I guess. Two chaotic teams going at it. As far as LSU goes, we got the dub today. Offensively, we looked pretty good. We scored 53 points. Some of that was off of, pick six, but 53 points is pretty damn good. Max Johnson accounted for just under 500 yards of total offense. He had 3 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns, and he had one interception. That was a pretty bad freshman interception, but it is what it is. But star of the game, though, Kayshon Boutte. He broke a record at LSU for the most receiving yards in the game. He had 308 yards on 14 catches, and he had 3 touchdowns. This dude was, I feel like he was open every single play. The Ole Miss secondary is terrible, and they can't defend. They couldn't defend him at all. He was, every time he got the ball, there was no defenders on him. He was wide open running free the whole game, and it was just pitch and catch for Max Johnson and Kayshon. That right there, though, was going to be the next elite duo at LSU. The secondary for almost could not defend him. Kayshon Boutte, it's crazy that he broke that record, and he's only a true freshman. That's why it's astonishing. I looked it up, and they said the last star to have that was Josh Reed back in 2001, I believe, and that's pretty impressive too, considering that they didn't throw the ball as much back in the day. But as an 18-year-old true freshman, that's a pretty impressive stat to do. Once again, LSU has young players all over the field on offense making plays. I'm looking at the stats right now. Coy Moore had a few catches. Trey Palmer, Cole Taylor, Kayshon, obviously. As long as Trey Bradford, the true freshman running back. I didn't know this, but apparently John Emery Jr. is hurt and he didn't play this game. I knew that David Price, he was hurt and he wasn't going to play in this game, but as far as John Emery goes, I thought he was going to play, and he got scratched. And we were down to Josh Williams, who was a walk-on at the beginning of the year, and he had 12 carries for 55 yards. He played okay, but he's a true freshman walk-on, and I think we put him on scholarship this year. So I didn't really expect the run game to be super great tonight, but hey, it is what it is. He got his carries. Trey Bradford got a few carries. Chris Curry got a few carries, and I don't really know why Chris Curry hasn't gotten more carries throughout the year. He wears number 18, so I don't really know why he's not a lead back, especially for a game like this when John Emery and Ty Davis Price are out. That's something I don't really comprehend, but it is what it is. There's definitely something more to this John Emery. He said he was out with a shoulder injury, but I don't know. Something's a little fishy, and I'm thinking something's going on with him at LSU, but I don't really know. But yeah, a lot of offensive young players making plays for LSU's offense. It's great to see. Max Johnson was just slinging it today. He stood well in the pocket, looked poised, just delivered strikes downfield, and he played a great game. He definitely has gotten better with every possession, it seems, every game he's played this season, and I think he's going to be the front runner going into next season as a starting quarterback for LSU. He plays a lot better than TJ Finley, and TJ Finley, he's a true freshman too, so he's only going to get better, but Max Johnson is the quarterback moving forward. That's what I would say. I mean, Miles Brennan's probably going to come back, but I mean, LSU's going to have a roster of 3 capable quarterbacks next season, and I expect at least one of them to transfer. But yeah, offensively looked pretty well. I mean, some drives got stalled out by some pretty bad play calls, but that is what it is too. I mean, that's going to happen, especially with a young offense like LSU has. But overall, pretty solid day. Defensively, this is... If I would have told you LSU would have had 5 interceptions and I think they had 6 total turnovers and they played one of their worst and they let up 48 points, I think that you would say, like, what the hell? Like, that's... What? Like, you'd think that's the best LSU defensive game of all time, but... Nope, they played pretty bad considering that Matt Corral from Ole Miss, the quarterback, he played a lot worse. I mean, there were some times you watched him throw the ball, he just threw it up. He literally didn't care. He was like, I got to make a play, throw the ball up. He had some just terrible interceptions. The one to Jabril Cox was just like literally like the worst interception I've ever seen. Like, why would you throw that ball? He had a few. I mean, Matt Corral is also the same quarterback who had 6 interceptions against Arkansas. I mean, dude, once you throw 3 as a young quarterback, that coach has to know to get that guy out of the game. I mean, you're only hurting the team, but I mean, that's Lane Kiffin for you. He's also the same coach. There's actually a video released of him today. He was literally, it was on Twitter, he was pointing to his players to get down, like fake an injury. Literally, you see him on the sideline just pointing, get down, get down, get down, like telling his players to fake an injury. So that just shows you the class of Lane Kiffin. But yeah, Matt Corral, I mean, he's a great athlete. I mean, he can run the ball pretty well. He's very agile and he's very athletic. And he can make some solid throws, but I mean, yeah, 5 interceptions, that's pretty tough. And let's also consider that he had 5 interceptions and they only lost the game by 5 points. So that also tells you how bad this LSU defense is. But let's give credit to Ole Miss's offense. Like, they run the offense where they're so hyper. We call them a NASCAR offense. Like, they're so hyper speed that they wear down a defense, especially in the second half. I mean, when they're snapping the ball and then within 8 or 9 seconds they're snapping the ball again, that's going to wear down a defensive line. That's going to wear down, the secondary when the receivers are running downfield. Like, it's just going to happen. Like, especially if a team like Ole Miss can execute, that'd be a tough team to beat because, I mean, your defense is just going to be gassed the whole game, and they won't be able to make stops. Kind of like tonight, we didn't make any stops, but thank God Ole Miss's defense is absolutely atrocious. And LSU was putting up, we could match them with points, and we were just better on offense than they were tonight. But, I mean, also the positive of tonight is, first off, we got the win, which is great. LSU doesn't finish with the losing season. We go 5-5, which is an average season. I mean, this team was projected to go, people were saying, from 8-2 to 3-7. We went 5-5. Considering how we started this year, I think we finished pretty well. We got the big win at Florida and the solid win against Ole Miss at home to finish the year out. I think it's going to be important that Coach O recruits a lot of these players who are thinking about going to the NFL next year, or leaving, or doing whatever. It's going to be important for us next season. This LSU team is going to be deadly next year in 2021. I mean, Max Johnson, Kayshon Boutte, Coy Moore, Trey Palmer, Cole Taylor, you name it on offense, we're going to be filthy. I just think this is the night where we know that it's time for Bo. This is Bo Pelini's last game as an LSU defensive coordinator, and I think we can all see it. I mean, LSU had 6 total turnovers, and Ole Miss kept us in the ball game. Stayed in the ball game. So, yeah, we can't let things like that happen, especially at a school like LSU where we have elite talent and we're a program that was built on great defense. So, the Bo Pelini experiment failed. Coach O's got to go back in there and hire a great defensive coordinator, a young mind, hopefully, and we'll have some success next season on defense, and with the great offense, maybe we can compete for the SEC West and the SEC title. But yeah, the defense is suspect this year. We were terrible, worst defense I've ever seen for LSU. When at the end of the game, when we scored the touchdown, when Kayshon ran up the sideline, we scored, got the lead. I was a little nervous. I wrote this down. There was 1:34 left in the fourth quarter, and I was pretty nervous. Not gonna lie to you guys. Matt Corral took the offense. They were driving downfield, but he's such a sporadic and aggressive player that cost him the game. I mean, that fumble, and then Jacoby Stevens recovers, and that's such a fitting way for him, a senior. Where's number 7 to go out for LSU? It's a great way for him to go out. It was a pretty bad year I don't think he played great this year. I don't really think that was his fault. I think it was more of the scheme. I don't really think Bo Pelini did a good job finding a good scheme fit for him. I think last year he fit in a lot better with Dave Aranda. At least Dave Aranda put him in the game plan to where he had more success at that hybrid linebacker safety role. And this year just didn't really work out for Jacoby Stevens, and that is what it is. But yeah, so great win for LSU. A lot of great pieces on offense to build on for next season. A lot of solid pieces on defense too. It's going to just be imperative for 2021 that we get the right coordinators in there. Continue to get these young guys in there, getting in these weight room, getting stronger. Working on their technique in the spring. LSU's not having a bowl game this year, which kind of hurts because those bowl games give you so many more extra practices, and for these young guys, that's what they need. They need these reps. They need these going against these SEC type players and getting this experience. And we're not going to a bowl game this year by our choice, and it's going to hurt us a little bit because we need those practices. That's any team that goes to a bowl game. It's not more about going to a bowl game as much as it would be, getting reps and getting these practices in. And that's going to hurt us a little bit. But as soon as the season's over, I think Clemson would do something like this, where they would take 2 weeks off where they don't do anything football, or maybe it was just a week off, and they would just lock in after that, get back in those winter workouts, hit the ground running, get strong, start bulking up for next season and get ready for the spring actually. And LSU, with a great new defensive coordinator, it hasn't happened yet. Bo Pelini hasn't been fired yet, but I expect him to be fired within the next coming days, if not at the beginning of the new year. Get these players like Damone Clark back. Get these players like Ali Gay back. Maybe Jabril Cox, but he's probably going to be gone. But, these defensive linemen like Neil Farrell and Glenn Logan back, and get them in the right scheme. Get these guys in position to make plays for LSU and, set them up for success. That's going to be imperative for the 2021 season, Also continue to recruit the defensive line. We just got a commitment, I think, yesterday. Langston out of Florida. He's a defensive end, I think a 4-star recruit. He's going to be one of those guys who's going to play right away, especially if we're, whatever scheme we run. If we go back to the 3-4, which I think we should do, because I think we're more equipped to the 3-4 than we are the 4-3. I just think that this defense has a lot of bright spots that Bo Pelini didn't really take advantage of, and I'm very excited for the future. I just hope Coach O makes a great hire on defense, because this hire is going to be his last shot. I truly believe that. That you got to hit at a school like LSU, you got to have the defense, and this next hire is going to be so important for him. We can't be giving up 48 points to Ole Miss, a team that's a terrible team. They are not a good team. They're a reflection of their coach, Lane Kiffin, who is, I don't know the word, I would say probably, he's very an unpredictable coach. You don't know what you're getting with him. So it's very important for us to not let teams like Ole Miss put 48 points on us. But overall, season comes to an end. LSU finishes 5-5. A lot of great things to build on. I'm going with Max Johnson as the future of LSU at quarterback. There's still a lot of time. We got a spring coming up. Everyone's going to get more reps. I'm probably overreacting because this is, the night of the game being over, the season being over. But that's who I'm going with so far. Kayshon Boutte is the next LSU great receiver. If he stays healthy, he's an absolute beast. He's only going to get stronger, faster, better at route running. And I'm super excited to see this team down the road. Thank you guys for listening. I love LSU, and go Tigers.